guess what? I'm in love. I'm in love. Oh, what a lovely feeling. I know what you're thinking. AJ, your age, falling in love? How very dare you. You can fall in love at any age you want. And I tell you what, I am properly in love. I can't think of anything else. All I do is think about, oh, it's just amazing. You know that feeling. And I got to say, this particular, she is rather big, she is voluptuous, she's got all the right curves, she's very black, she loves going out in the fields, having fun. I'm in my element, and you know I'm joking, don't you? Well, I'm not quite joking, because I have really fallen in love. I've fallen in love, follow me, with the new Ford Ranger. And it's not any old Ranger, this is the Ford Ranger Wildtrak. Check it out. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Is that not the ultimate big boy's toy? And I have spent the last week playing with this beautiful big boy's toy, and I have seriously fallen in love. I want one. I really want one. But I want to show you why I want one. What has made my head change? What has spun me into the clouds and made me this utter useless piece of jelly that all he thinks about is getting in his Ford Ranger and driving down the street? Well, let's find out. Let's get around it. Let's get under the bonnet, have a look at the engine, see what it's like, see how much stuff we can get in the back, get it out on the road, and give you our opinion of the new Ford Ranger Wildtrak. I'm AJ, you're watching me on the player, totally in love, of course. And if you have not seen what we do before, check this out for the next minute and a half. You're gonna love it. I love it. This is how a car should sound. Listen to this.
I didn't really push it either. I was just having a bit of fun.
Oh, really?
So there you have it, guys. The Ferrari Rover. My birthday present. Here we go. We're going to meet the crew and hopefully get the thing.
That's a real one.
I think it makes a good word.
Let's go, mate.
Nice to see you.
Show us your big chopper, your helicopter.
So here we are, the Morgan Roadster, where we're here for the Swiss Watch Show. Hey guys, guess what? It's another morning here out in sunny France.
So Ford Rangers come in 7 different trim levels, believe it or not. Your entry-level car starts from around 28,000 UK pounds, which I think is good value for money for what you're actually getting. However, that will depend on whether you go for a single cab or a double cab. Now the car we've got here today is the Wildtrack. It's a double cab Wildtrack, and that will start from around 39,000 UK pounds. But this is not only a workhorse, it's a luxury workhorse. If you really want to go a little bit higher up the level than this, you can end up going for what they call the Raptor. That's the top of the range or kitchen sink level. That's going to cost you from 46,000 UK pounds. There are 7 different colours to choose from, and a couple of really nice ones there. There's like a sunburst orange and a really nice bright red as well. I love the black. If you like frozen white, that's included in the price. However, any of these extra colours I just mentioned, they're an extra 500 UK pounds on top of the price. Again, the car comes in 17-inch rims, but if you want 18s, you're going to pay an extra 200 UK pounds. Or if you want to go really silly and get yourself a set of 20s, you can do, and they will set you back an extra 750 UK pounds. The car can be upgraded and customised to exactly how you want it, making this a very, very unique big boy's toy. And that's what I think I love most of all about the Ford Ranger. Let's check out under the bonnet and see what the engine and gearbox configurations are. And the bonnet release catch is down here, single pull in the passenger footwell. Nice and simple. Don't forget, guys, if you're driving a left-hand drive version of this car, it's going to be in the driver's footwell because they're not going to swap it around. It costs too much money. Right, let's check out under the bonnet and see what you actually get for the money. Bonnet release catch, if you look at the full badge there, dead straight above it, use your index finger, stick it in there, slide it to the left, and then with a bit of muscle, because it is very heavy, push that up. You'll find the bonnet stays just pop down here, pop that out, and put that in there, nice and safe. Right, there are 4 different engine configurations that you can get with your Ford Ranger. Your entry-level engine is a 4-cylinder diesel. It's a 2 litre and it develops around about 174 brake horsepower. I know you're saying, is there anything better? Well, there is. There's the same engine that's tweaked up to develop 202 brake horsepower, and that's going to depend on the trim level that you go for. Then you jump right up, you really jump up. You go to a V6, nice 6-cylinder engine. It's a 3 litre and it develops around about 240 brake horsepower. We like that one. A little bit less on the economy. We'll talk about economy in a minute. Top of the range, obviously, is the Raptor. The Raptor gets the V6 6-cylinder 3 litre engine, develops 290 brake horsepower. But today we're here to talk about the Wildtrack, and this particular engine is the 2 litre 4-cylinder, and it's developing just over 200 brake horsepower. Miles per gallon, well, we're getting around 32 to 34 to the gallon. Really, really good. I was quite surprised for this. It's ultra smooth, super gearbox on this. There's a choice. On your entry-level car, you can get a 6-speed manual, but all the rest of the cars get a lovely whisper smooth 10-speed auto. Really love it. It just works well in this car. And don't forget, you've got the 4-wheel drive on this car as well, but we'll go into all that when we get this car out on the road. 0 to 60 times, sub 10 seconds. Very good for a car that weighs 2.5 tons, almost 2.5 tons. Top speed around 112 miles an hour. And don't forget, the payload on this car is just over a ton. It's about 1.2 tons you can chuck in the back. And at the same time, you can pull up to 3.5 tons. This is a really, really versatile car. And that's another reason why I do love the Ford Ranger. Here we are, up front in the Ranger Wildtrak, and I know what you're going to say. It's a bit posh, it's a bit plush. Check it out, you've got full leather in here, you've got 8-way adjustable seats. Even on your entry-level car, you get a 6-way electronic adjustable seat. I mean, Ford have really gone to town with this. The leather in here is superb. The seats are so well bolstered, it's really, really lovely. And I'm trying to think, you know, originally these cars were designed for people working on building sites, you know, labourers jumping in and out, going down to the tip, picking stuff up. I mean, it just shows you how much these guys must be earning these days, because now they demand, you know, this sort of plush interior, this leather, and there's even places to keep your sunglasses as well. How many builders do you see walking around with a nice pair of Ray-Bans on or something? I'm trying to work all this out. But at the end of the day, Ford have gone to town with this car, especially the Wildtrack, this middle of the range, middle trim level. You've got the digital cluster here. Check this out as well. Look at that. That's a 12-inch TFT touchscreen. Very reminiscent of the old Tesla there, isn't it? It's quite big. Even on the entry level, again, you get a 10-inch version of this. You get also, you know, the bits and pieces as standard on this car. There's cruise control, there's lane keepy, there's sign recognition. It's all built in as part of the price. So, you know, I personally think that Ford are thinking about the working man who's kind of, you know, become a little bit more affluent and is looking for a little bit more sumptuous, a little bit more luxury. And also, when you turn up on a job and you're about to give a quote on something, if you pull up in one of these, people are going to go, that guy knows what he's doing. He must have a load of work. So I think they're going to be more, you know, friendly towards that person. Maybe, I don't know. Bit tongue-in-cheek there. Double cup holder down here. Place to put your mobile phone in there. There are a ton of extra packs. There's ice packs you can buy for this. In-car entertainment, in case you don't know what that stands for. Your ice packs, there's 3 or 4 of those. They range anything from £400 up to about £1,600. Depends what you go for. In-car entertainment stuff, it's speak to your Ford salesperson when you go down for a test drive on one of these. I don't want to rant on about all the different bits and pieces you get extra. One thing you will have to do is the tech pack, where you can get things like the blind spot monitoring, which I think is really, you know, essential in a car like this. You do get rear beepers, parking sensors, and you get a rear camera with your entry-level car. On this particular car, you get the rear parking sensors and the front sensors, and you get a 360 camera as well, which is great for parking. This is a big unit to park. You know, you've got to allow for it when you're parking. Most of the time, you're going to be reversing into a parking space. This is not the type of car that you just drive in and leave it. You have to reverse it in. You've got a certain amount of area that you can work with as well, and this car is absolutely brilliant for that. You've got your 4-wheel drive selector down here. You've got your 2-wheel high, which is what you predominantly keep it in. We'll talk about that when we get out on the road. If you want the in-car charging for your phone, you will have to buy one of those tech packs because it doesn't come as standard. You've got your gear selector here. Absolutely love it. It's all leather finished. You get a heated leather steering wheel. again, heated, even in the winter, even those poor builders' hands need to be kept warm these days. Makes me laugh. Inside here, massive cubby. I mean, you could literally keep an iPad in here, at least 3 or 4 mobile phones, which is most builders have got 3 or 4 mobile phones. But all in all, just look at the quality. It really oozes like proper premium quality out of this car. I'm quite surprised, but at the same time, I'm loving it. I think this is a fantastic bit of kit for the money. Right, let's check out what it's like round the back of the Wildtrack. First up, you haven't noticed, well I have noticed, these lovely big running boards, these sideboards here, which are brilliant for getting in and out of this car, because you do need them, believe it or not. It's great also if you've got passengers jumping in the back here, they can just step up on that and get straight in the back there. Let's shut the door and have a look. I just love the whole look of this car, the back of this car. I love these, you know, beautiful bars here, the payload bars, if that's what you want to call them. You've got LED rear lights on here as well. Got big chunky bumpers everywhere. Another thing I want to show you quickly, check this out, is if you're, you know, inspecting what's in the payload section up here, you want to step up, there's a little step here, you can actually get up here like that, and you can actually lift things and out, whatever. Oh, it's just, I love it. It's such a, you know, such a big boy's toy. Round at the back, there is, on this particular car, you've got the tow bar. It's an extra. It's part of a pack, costs around 400 UK pounds. With that, you get things like blind spot mirrors and other bits and pieces. Check with your Ford salesperson when you go down for a test drive, and he or she will explain all those extra bits and pieces, because there's so many extra bits and pieces you can have on this car. I'm going to show you another one in a minute. I love the fact that the Wildtrack badge is black. It blends in. You've got your Ranger built into that as well. 4-wheel drive badge over here. Oh, just all lovely. Okay, no electronic tail lift. Don't need it. Look how light that is. Look, one hand. How light is that? That massive, great piece of equipment is just being lifted with one hand. Stunning, really stunning. Inside here, you've got a load liner as well. That is an extra. It's only a few £100, but it's well worth getting, because once your roller tonneau shutter is open and it gets a little bit wet in here, you can mop it up, or you can just leave it and let it dry out itself. It's a real handy thing to have. Now, one thing, by the way, have you noticed I'm sitting up here as well? This is a great place. You can actually sit up here and watch, you know, watch whatever you're doing. Watch the menials digging your whatever and putting bricks up and stuff like that. I think it's a great place to sit and have a meeting as well. Right, let me tell you about an extra gadget that I think you must buy if you buy one of these. It's 1,600 UK pounds. I know, it's a lot of money. It's so worth it. On the key here, you'll notice there's a little, it says double tap here, and it's the auto roller tonneau cover. Watch this, ready? Double click. How good is that? Look at that. Goes back all on its own. That's so nice. Then you can load everything up, whatever you want to load on there, and then just double click again, and it'll close up itself. Is an extra 1,600 quid though. That is so worth it. So worth it. I would definitely invest in that. Let's shut this back up. 1.2 tonnes in the back there, pulls 3.5 tonnes. Don't forget, if you go for the Raptor, it can only pull 2.5 tonnes. Talk to Ford about that, not my problem. But on this particular car, simply superb. Talk about versatile. So here we are in the back of the Ranger Wildtrak, and again, I mean, it's just plush leather everywhere. It's really, really comfortable. But as we all know, come on, you know, builders, the only thing that's ever going to sit in the back here is going to be a high-vis jacket, a safety helmet, and a pair of hobnail steel toe-capped rigger boots. It's about all that's ever going to go in the back here, trust me. If you did need to give, you know, Cheryl and Michelle a lift home from admin, then they would be quite comfortable in the back here. And if they were extra young, there are, believe it or not, there's ISOFIX points in here, so you could be the builder daddy on the weekend and run the kids down the swimming pool, because they're going to have their child seats in here if you really need to. There's no recessed seat belts, but who cares? As we said, no one's ever going to sit in the back here anyway. There is a centre armrest. You have to pull it down. So if you do buy one of these, I'm just giving you a tip, because I had some people in here the other night and they were going, oh, it doesn't pull out. They kept trying to pull it. I thought they were going to break it, but in actual fact, it does lock back like that, and you have to pull it down. So that's just a tip. And there you go. You get your armrest for your steel toe-cap boots to sit next to with its own cup of coffee. There you go. You've got a double cup holder in there as well. Headrest as well, really nice, lovely big screen at the back here, flooding this area with light. It really is lovely. I'll pull this over here. Look at the size of that rear window, massive. Electronic windows in the back. You've got charging capability over here, USB-C and a standard USB as well. You've got air vents in the back here, and the leg room and the height in here. I mean, all in all, it's just, I keep laughing, but it's absolutely incredible. The attention to detail and the finish on this, I'm very, very impressed. When you get out on the road in the Ranger Wildtrak, the first thing you're going to notice is this car doesn't feel as big as what it is. It actually feels quite comfortable to drive like a normal car. It's a little bit bouncy when you haven't got any load in the back, and I think that's just common of all pickup trucks. If there's no load in there, it's got quite a light, bouncy suspension, so you do feel it riding a little bit. But it's an excellent drive. You've got this fantastic windshield on this car. It's really big, gives you a lovely peripheral vision all the way around here. And then again, you've got these massive mirrors on here as well. I love those. This car has got the pack on it with the blind spot monitoring system on it. Absolutely love that. I think it's essential in today's modern driving. I don't understand why all cars don't have it as standard. I think it would save an awful lot of accidents, especially when it comes to cyclists and motorcyclists. Anyway, that's a separate note, but this car does have it. It's got those wonderful big mirrors, nicely positioned. You've got grab handles, both sides as well, passenger and driver, fantastic. I love the digital cluster on this as well. It's controlled to the right hand side here. You can control that with a little button up and down. You can scroll through all the different menu attributes that you've got on there. You've even got an off-road status button on there as well. It's lovely. Below that, you've got your track change or your radio station change. Again, very easy to use. I love the way this is all set up. Nice steering wheel as well, I will mention that. And don't forget, this is the heated steering wheel as well. To the left here, you've got your driver aids, you've got your cruise control, you've got your lane keeping, you've got your distance control. Again, really easy to use. It's just an on-off button there, and then you've got a little toggle button up and down for the speed. Set that up, it's very nice. And below that is the volume button, and that's for obviously when you're listening to your tunes in here. And I've got to say, the sound system in this car is superb. It's absolutely brilliant. I've had the Bluetooth connectivity set up on this car. I've been using the Apple Play on this car as well for the nav. I mean, all in all, it's just a brilliant way of doing it. I've just realised I've got the compass up there now as well. You've got a compass on it. It's really lovely. Off-road in this car, I would love to get it off-road and show you just how good it is, because it is absolutely brilliant, this car. Unfortunately, we're not in a position at the moment to take these cars off-road, but I have test driven one of these when it was first launched in a proper off-road scenario. It was utterly brilliant. Your off-road settings are down here. You've got 2 high, which is 2H, is your standard setting for everyday driving when you're out in this car. It's the most economical way of driving this car as well. You don't really need 4-wheel drive, not on a nice dry day in the middle of July. So then you've got 3 other settings as well, all your off-road driving modes, your diff lock and all 4-wheel drives. It's just so easy to use, and it's all electronically controlled. So it's not like the old Range Rovers and Land Rovers where you had to literally clunk into a separate gearbox. It's all set up for you here. You've got an off-road camera button down here as well, so by pushing that, it will bring up a camera on here and it will give you the off-road status. So if you're it's really good to have that camera, especially when you're off-roading. If you've ever done it, you'll know why as well. I mean, all in all though, driving the car is very much a car. It doesn't feel like a van. It doesn't feel like a too big an SUV. It just feels really comfortable. Parking is brilliant. You've got the parking camera, you've got the beepers front and rear on this car, and to be honest, even driving it around these lanes, it just doesn't feel that big that I've got to worry when a car comes the other way. And I do actually really like driving it. Very responsive, 2-litre engine. I can't imagine, next week we've got the Raptor we're going to be testing. I can't imagine what the V6 is going to be like, but this 2-litre pulls really well. There's no lag with those twin turbos. It's absolutely perfect. Brakes are excellent. Yeah, all round, I really do love this car. It's getting decent mileage to the gallon. Let's have a look. I think it was predicted to be, it's coming up at the moment, I'm getting 26.2, but there again, I'm driving it around the country lanes. I've been testing it, been flooring it, checking out what it can and can't do. Obviously, if I was out on a run, I think we'd be well into the 30s, and that's exactly what Ford predicts. It's kind of between a 30 and a 35, you know, thereabouts. That's what you would be getting. But the one thing I do love about this car is the fact I know at any time if we get poor weather conditions or the road conditions suddenly change, this is going to get me home. It's going to pull whatever I need it to pull. I'm going to get stuff loaded in the back without any problems at all. So all in, what a versatile car, and definitely I would have one of these in my garage happily, and the love affair continues. So there you have it, guys, the Ford Ranger Wildtrak. And I'm still in love. I'm honestly in love with this car. I love it for a number of different reasons, but at the end of the day, we're all different. You know, we all love different things, different looks. But I think get yourself down, give one a test drive. You are not going to be disappointed with this car. In addition, you're not going to be disappointed with the warranty on this car as well. You get 3 years or 60,000 miles warranty with the car. You get a 12-year, 8 to 12-year anti-perforation warranty as well, depends on the model and the trim level you go for. Speak to sales about that one. You get a 3-year paint warranty, looks after all this lovely glossy paint, and you will get 1 year's roadside assistance the minute you drive off the forecourt. All in all, I think it's value for money. I think it's fun, it's versatile, it does what it says on the tin, this car, and above all, I love it. So there you go. For once, I'm actually going to tell you, go and drive one. You're going to love it too. You've been watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, subscribe and comment. Anything you want to know more about this car, or if you've bought one yourself and you want to let other people know who are watching this review what you think of it, put the comment down the box below and everybody else can read it, and we will comment back to you or give you a reply if you've got any questions. So don't forget it. Don't forget there is a bell sign and there is a subscribe sign, and that bell sign and the subscribe sign need to be unchecked, because then you will get updates on all the bits and pieces that we put up. Because you saw at the beginning of this video, we don't just do car reviews, we do loads of stuff, and there might be something that ticks your box, floats your boat, and you don't want to miss it, because at the end of the day, it's all great fun, isn't it? That's what it's all about. One thing, I'm going to offer you something for nothing in return. I'm going to ask you to do something for nothing for me. And it's most easy. All you've got to do is give us a thumbs up, guys, because we don't get a bonus. We don't get any extra pay. What we do get is a pat on the back for the boss to say, well done, AJ and crew. You did a fantastic job on that. You got loads of likes. Loads of people like what you're doing. So therefore, we'll keep you on board and keep you in a job. So thanks for the thumbs up, guys, if you get the opportunity. I really appreciate that. In return for that, I'm going to give you a copy of The Player, because we are not just a YouTube channel. No, we are much bigger. We are a huge organisation. Well, not huge, we're a big organisation. We produce a magazine called The Player. It's a bookazine, so it's a hardback magazine. It's got 220 pages of everything us guys absolutely love. There's cars, there's boats, there's holidays, there's interviews, there's food, there's tons in it. There's 220 pages of it in there, and you can have a copy of it completely free of charge. You can't actually have the physical copy because they cost £100 UK each, but what you can have is exactly the same version online. Go to www.theplayer.co.uk. It's coming up there now. There you go. Whoop. By the magic of edit. Head over there, I'll leave it up for a few seconds. That will give you an idea exactly what we're all about. And at the same time, if you want to subscribe to that, you can do, and you will get a regular copy of that popped through to you. And you can view it online. As I say, it's exactly the same as the hardback book itself. And you can flip the pages, all sorts of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Head over there, guys. It's free of charge. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review on the Ranger Wildtrak as much as I have enjoyed driving this car. Next week, guess what? Ranger Raptor time. Let's go do it.